If you're looking to impress your friends, kids, or even that one coworker who thinks they know everything, then you're in the right place. Today, we're unleashing 101 mind-blowing facts that will change the way you see the world, and maybe even the universe. From bizarre animal behaviors, space mysteries, and weird science experiments, to geography oddities and health facts that might just shock you. This is your ultimate odyssey of oddities. So buckle up, take notes, and get ready to impress, amuse, and maybe even blow your own mind. Let's dive in. Fact 1. Earth's poles are moving. Did you know Earth's magnetic poles are shifting? Over the past 71 million years, the North and South poles have flipped 171 times. The North Pole is currently moving at a rate of about 55 kilometers per year, a significant increase from the 15 kilometers per year it was moving until 1990. Scientists believe we're overdue for a magnetic reversal, but there's no immediate danger. While this flip could happen soon, it wouldn't have a huge impact on life on Earth. However, it does raise some interesting questions about the planet's magnetic field and its effects on things like satellite systems. Fact 2. You can actually die laughing. It may sound like something out of a cartoon, but it's true. You can die from laughter. Though rare, some people have actually passed away from laughing too hard. This can happen due to intense laughter triggering a heart attack or suffocation from losing control of breathing. In extremely rare cases, laughter has even caused a rupture in blood vessels in the brain, leading to a fatal stroke. So next time you're watching a comedy show, you might want to take a deep breath before you burst out laughing. Fact 3. Ants don't have lungs. Unlike humans and many other animals, ants don't have lungs. Instead, they breathe through spiracles, which are tiny openings in their exoskeleton. Depending on the species, ants can have 9 or 10 spiracles that allow air to flow directly into their bodies, delivering oxygen to their internal organs. This unique system helps them to efficiently exchange gases, ensuring they get the oxygen they need to survive without the need for lungs. Fact 4. Football teams wearing red kits play better. The color of a team's kit can have a significant impact on their performance. A study of football matches over the last 55 years found that teams wearing red kits consistently performed better in home matches compared to teams wearing other colors. This phenomenon is linked to psychological and socio-cultural factors. Red is often associated with power, aggression, and dominance, which can make the players feel more confident and driven. Fact 5. Wind turbines kill between 10,000 and 100,000 birds. Each year in the UK, wind turbines, while a renewable energy source, unfortunately contribute to bird mortality. In the UK, it's estimated that between 10,000 and 100,000 birds are killed each year by these turbines. The main cause of death is collision, as birds fly into the spinning blades. However, there is a simple and effective solution that can help mitigate this issue. Research shows that painting just one blade of a wind turbine black can reduce bird deaths by up to 70%. The dark-colored blade stands out more clearly against the sky, making it easier for birds to avoid the turbine. Fact 6. Snails have teeth. Snails may not have the kind of teeth you're used to, but they certainly have a lot of them. In fact, they can have anywhere between 1,000 and 12,000 tiny teeth. These aren't teeth like ours, of course. Instead, snails have a special structure called a radula, which is a file-like tongue covered in microscopic teeth. This unique organ helps snails scrape and grind their food, typically plant material, as they feed. Although their teeth might not form a traditional grin, the sheer number of teeth they possess is quite impressive, especially when you consider how small and hidden they are on the radula. Fact 7. Sound can be minus decibels. Sound can be recorded as negative decibels, but this doesn't mean it's quieter in the typical sense. Instead, it refers to levels of sound that are below the threshold of normal human hearing. The quietest place on Earth is Microsoft's anechoic chamber in Redmond, Washington, USA, which has a sound level of negative 20.6 decibels. Anechoic chambers are specially designed rooms built to be completely free of echoes and external noise. They are constructed with heavy concrete and brick and are mounted on springs to prevent any vibrations from seeping in through the floor. In this chamber, the environment is so quiet that even your body's natural sounds, like your heartbeat and the rustling of your lungs, become painfully noticeable. Fact 8. A horse normally has more than 1 horsepower. Contrary to the 1 horsepower myth, a horse can actually produce much more power than the unit suggests. A 1993 study revealed that the maximum power a horse can produce is about 18,000 watts, which is roughly 24 horsepower. This is much higher than the standard 1 horsepower typically used to describe the power of a horse, which was established in the 18th century by engineer James Watt to compare the output of steam engines to that of draft horses. In reality, horses are capable of producing significantly more power, especially when exerting themselves at peak performance. Fact 9. Your signature could reveal personality traits. A 2016 study suggests that your signature might reflect aspects of your personality. For men, a larger signature tends to be linked with higher social bravado or a desire to project confidence and importance. For women, on the other hand, a bigger signature could indicate narcissistic traits, such as a strong desire for attention or a sense of self-importance. While signatures are not definitive personality markers, the study suggests that we unconsciously embed personal characteristics into our handwriting style, potentially revealing more than we realize about how we see ourselves and wish to be seen by others. Fact 10. Snakes can predict earthquakes. Snakes are highly sensitive to vibrations and temperature changes, which is why some people believe they can predict earthquakes. Studies suggest that snakes can detect seismic activity from great distances and may react by behaving unusually, such as trying to escape their enclosures or moving erratically, days before an earthquake occurs. Scientists think this is due to their ability to sense even the slightest underground vibrations, which humans and many other animals cannot perceive. Fact 11. Bananas are radioactive. Bananas are naturally radioactive, though it's not something to be alarmed about. This radioactivity comes from potassium, specifically the isotope potassium-40, which is found in all bananas. Potassium-40 is a naturally occurring isotope that decays over time, releasing radiation in the process. Interestingly, your body already contains around 16 milligrams of potassium-40, making you 280 times more radioactive than a banana. Fact 12. There's no such thing as a straight line. At a microscopic level, there are no truly straight lines in the universe. Everything, from the tiniest particles to massive structures, exhibits some degree of irregularity. Even though we perceive straight lines in daily life, zooming in close enough on anything, whether it's a piece of paper or the path of a laser light beam, reveals subtle curves and imperfections. This is due to the curvature of space-time and the influence of gravity. So, despite our perceptions, perfect straightness is more of an ideal concept than a physical reality. Fact 13. Deaf people use sign language in their sleep. A fascinating case study revealed that deaf people may continue to use sign language even while sleeping. One study focused on a 71-year-old man who had rapid eye movement sleep disorder and a severe hearing impairment. During his sleep, researchers observed him using fluent sign language, which not only confirmed that he was dreaming, but also provided clues about the content of his dreams. This phenomenon highlights how deeply ingrained sign language can be in a person's life, extending to even the unconscious mind. Fact 14. Finland is the happiest country on Earth. Finland has held the title of the happiest country in the world for 6 consecutive years, according to the World Happiness Report. It's easy to see why. Finland offers a unique blend of factors that contribute to its residents' well-being. From Santa Claus and reindeer to saunas, there's one for every 1.59 people, Finland is a place that promotes both relaxation and joy. The country's excellent public services, high quality of life, and stunning natural beauty make it an idyllic place to live and thrive. Fact 15. Hippos can't swim. Despite their size and aquatic lifestyle, hippos can't actually swim. Their bones are so dense that they aren't buoyant, meaning they can't float or swim like other animals. Instead, hippos perform a slow-motion gallop along the riverbed or even the sea floor. What's truly remarkable is that hippos can sleep underwater. They have a natural reflex that allows them to bob up for air, take a breath, and sink back down without ever waking up during the process. It's like an automatic breathing system while they rest. Fact 16. You can yo-yo in space. In 2012, NASA astronaut Don Pettit proved that yo-yoing works in space. He took a yo-yo aboard the International Space Station and demonstrated a series of tricks. You might think that microgravity would make this impossible, but yo-yos mainly rely on the laws of conservation of angular momentum to perform their tricks. As long as the string stays taut, these laws still apply in space, allowing the yo-yo to spin and return just like it would on Earth. Fact 17. Not only plants photosynthesize. While we often associate photosynthesis with plants, it's not just plants that can harness the power of sunlight. Algae, which are not considered plants, and other organisms like sea slugs and pea aphids also contain chlorophyll. These organisms can absorb sunlight and convert it into energy, just like plants do. This ability to photosynthesize allows them to produce their own food and energy, making them fascinating examples of nature's adaptability. Fact 18. You travel 2.5 million kilometers a day around the sun without realizing. You might not feel it, but you're constantly on the move. Every day, Earth travels around 2.5 million kilometers as it orbits the sun. That's over 19 million kilometers when we factor in the movement of our entire solar system within the Milky Way galaxy. So, while you're sitting still, the Earth is racing through space at an incredible speed, completing a full orbit around the sun every year. Fact 19. Bacteria on your skin cause itches. Ever wonder why you feel the urge to scratch? The culprit could be bacteria living right on your skin. A specific type of bacteria, Staphylococcus aureus, releases chemicals that activate proteins in your nerve endings. These proteins send a signal from your skin to your brain, and your brain interprets it as an itch. It's your body's way of reacting to irritants or infections. And while scratching feels satisfying, it can sometimes make things worse by spreading the bacteria further. Fact 20. Your body has more bacterial cells than human cells. Believe it or not, your body is teeming with bacteria, so much so that bacterial cells actually outnumber human cells. According to a 2016 study, the average human is made up of about 56% bacterial cells. This figure is much lower than the older estimates, which suggested that we were 90% bacteria. However, because bacteria are incredibly small and lightweight, by weight, you are over 99.7% human. So, while you might be a bacterial majority in terms of cell count, your human side still outweighs them by a landslide. Fact 21. Most ginger cats are male. Ever wondered why ginger cats are mostly male? It's all down to genetics. The gene responsible for their vibrant orange fur is located on the X chromosome. Male cats only have one X chromosome, so they need just one copy of the ginger gene to display the color. Female cats, however, have two X chromosomes, which means they need two copies of the ginger gene to be fully ginger. This genetic quirk explains why there are roughly 3 male ginger cats for every 1 female. Nature sure has its fascinating quirks. Fact 22. Your nails grow faster in summer. Ever noticed your nails growing quicker during the warmer months? This phenomenon is likely due to increased blood circulation to the fingertips during summer. The warmth improves blood flow, delivering more oxygen and nutrients that promote nail growth. Additionally, summer often means reduced stress levels. Think vacation vibes and relaxation, which might make you less likely to bite your nails. This seasonal boost is one reason your nails seem longer after a sunny getaway. Fact 23. You dislike the sound of your own voice, due to skull vibrations. The reason many people cringe when hearing their own voice in recordings lies in how sound travels through your body. When you speak, the sound you hear is a mix of two pathways: air-conducted sound, heard through your ears, and bone-conducted sound, vibrations traveling through the bones of your skull. The bone conduction adds depth and resonance, making your voice sound richer and deeper to you. However, in recordings, only the air-conducted sound is captured, which lacks those vibrations. This difference makes your recorded voice sound higher-pitched and unfamiliar, often leading to discomfort or dislike. Fact 24. The world's largest butterfly spans 31 centimeters. The Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly holds the title of the largest butterfly on Earth, with an impressive wingspan that can reach up to 31 centimeters, 12 inches. Native to the rainforests of Oro Province in Papua New Guinea, this butterfly is as rare as it is magnificent. The females are significantly larger than the males, with creamy brown wings adorned with delicate patterns, while the males boast iridescent blue and green hues. Sadly, this giant butterfly is endangered due to habitat loss and deforestation, making sightings in the wild increasingly rare. Fact 25. Bad sleep makes you remember more dreams. It turns out that restless nights can lead to more vivid memories of your dreams. Studies suggest that if you experience poor quality sleep or wake up multiple times during the night, you are more likely to recall your dreams. This happens because frequent awakenings interrupt the rapid eye movement stage of sleep, which is when most dreams occur. Additionally, being woken up directly from a dream increases the chances of remembering it. While this might seem like a silver lining to sleepless nights, good quality sleep is still essential for your overall health, even if it means fewer dream recollections. Fact 26. The longest breath-holding record is over 24 minutes. The record for holding one's breath underwater is nothing short of astounding. On March 27, 2021, Croatian freediver Budimir Šobat set the world record by holding his breath for a staggering 24 minutes and 37 seconds. This extraordinary feat required intense training, as it far surpasses the average human's breath-holding ability of 30 to 90 seconds. Fact 27. Why dogs tilt their heads when you speak. When your dog tilts its head while you're talking, it's not just an adorable quirk. It's actually a sign of their impressive listening skills. Dogs tilt their heads to better pinpoint the source of a sound and quickly identify familiar words such as walkies or treat. This behavior also helps them better interpret the tone and emotion behind your voice, allowing for a deeper connection between you and your furry friend. Interestingly, dogs with longer muzzles tend to tilt their heads more frequently than those with shorter muzzles, as their field of vision is slightly more obstructed. On the other hand, dogs with shorter muzzles rely less on sound positioning and more on sight, so they may tilt their heads less often. Fact 28. The truth about slim people and metabolism. It's a common misconception that slim people can eat whatever they want because they have a fast metabolism. In reality, it's often the opposite. People who remain slim despite indulging in food typically have a slower metabolism. Why? A person with a lean frame generally has less muscle mass, and muscle plays a key role in determining basal metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns at rest. Since muscle tissue burns more calories than fat, those with higher muscle mass naturally have faster metabolisms. Fact 29. Earth. A 4.54 billion-year-old home scientists have determined that Earth is approximately 4.54 billion years old, with a margin of error of about 50 million years. This age was calculated using radiometric dating, a technique that measures the decay of radioactive isotopes in rocks and minerals. Interestingly, this means our planet is roughly half the age of the Milky Way galaxy, which formed around 11 to 13 billion years ago, and about a third of the age of the universe. estimated to be 13.8 billion years old. Over its long lifespan, Earth has witnessed the birth of oceans, continents, life, and civilizations, evolving into the diverse world we inhabit today. Fact 30. The surprisingly short lifespan of dinosaurs. Despite their enormous size and dominance, the average dinosaur lifespan wasn't as long as you might expect. For example, the fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex reached its full size between 16 to 22 years old and typically lived until about 27 to 33 years of age. Meanwhile, some of the largest dinosaurs, like the Brontosaurus and Diplodocus, generally lived between 39 and 53 years, with a few possibly reaching up to 70 years old. Fact 31. Glass sponges can live for 15,000 years. Deep under the ocean's surface, glass sponges hold the title of some of the longest living organisms on Earth. These fascinating sea creatures can survive for up to 15,000 years, forming intricate reef-like structures that serve as habitats for other marine life. But if that lifespan seems impressive, consider the immortal jellyfish. Fact 32. Murder rates rise in summer. The sweltering heat of summer might not only make you feel irritable, but it's also linked to an increase in violent crimes. Research shows that as temperatures rise, so does the likelihood of aggressive behavior. In fact, in the United States, murder rates are known to climb by 2.7% during the summer months. Experts believe the heat may trigger heightened emotions, aggression, and social tension, all of which can contribute to an uptick in violent crime. Fact 33. New car smell is a mix of over 200 chemicals. That fresh, intoxicating scent of a brand new car is actually the result of more than 200 different chemicals that are released into the air. These chemicals, which are off-gassed from materials like plastics, adhesives, and upholstery, include toxic hydrocarbons such as benzene and toluene. While it may smell pleasant to some, prolonged exposure to these chemicals can be harmful to your health, causing headaches or even affecting your liver and kidneys. Fact 34. Sea level isn't actually level. Despite being called sea level, the average level of the ocean isn't exactly level across the globe. Due to the Earth's spin, centrifugal forces are strongest at the equator, causing the water there to bulge outward. This means that the sea level at the equator is farther from the center of the Earth than at the poles. Additionally, variations in the Earth's gravity further cause differences in the actual sea level in different regions, creating slight undulations that defy the idea of a perfectly level sea. Fact 35. You inhale 50 potentially harmful bacteria every time you breathe. Each time you take a breath, your body brings in more than just oxygen. You unknowingly inhale about 50 potentially harmful bacteria with every breath. Fortunately, your immune system is always on alert, working tirelessly to neutralize and destroy most of these bacteria before they can cause any harm. This constant defense mechanism helps keep you safe, ensuring that you don't feel a thing, even though your body is constantly protecting you from unseen threats. Fact 36. You can see stars as they were 4,000 years ago with the naked eye. When you gaze up at the night sky, the stars you see are not exactly as they are today. The light from these stars has traveled vast distances to reach us, and the farthest stars visible without a telescope lie within about 4,000 light-years of Earth. This means that the light we observe from these stars today left them around 4,000 years ago, roughly the same time the ancient Egyptian pyramids were being constructed. So, every time you look at the stars, you're actually peering into the distant past. Fact 37. Our dead cells are eaten by other cells in our body. When cells inside our body die, they don't just stay there. They are consumed by phagocytes, a type of white blood cell designed to digest dead cells. This process, called phagocytosis, is a crucial part of how our bodies stay clean and healthy. The phagocytes help remove cellular debris and recycle useful materials from the dead cells, maintaining the body's internal balance. Fact 38. Smells can pass through liquid. While it's not a good idea to try smelling underwater, your nose will definitely not thank you. Smells can actually pass through liquids. In fact, certain scents can travel through water or other liquids, allowing us to detect odors even when submerged. However, underwater, the experience is very different, and the usual way we process smells through air is much less effective in liquids. Fact 39. Pine trees can tell if it's about to rain. Pine trees have a remarkable ability to sense weather changes, especially rain. If you see a pine cone that's closed, it's likely because the air is humid, an early indicator that rain might be on the way. The cones open when the air is dry, and they close in response to increased humidity, helping the tree preserve its seeds. Fact 40. You can't fold a piece of A4 paper more than 8 times. It's almost impossible to fold a piece of A4 paper more than 8 times. Each time you fold, the number of layers doubles, making the paper thicker and smaller. This rapid increase in thickness limits the number of folds. The world record for folding paper was set by Brittany Gallivan, a high school student from California, who folded a 1.2-kilometer-long piece of tissue paper 12 times in 2002. Fact 41. Your brain burns 400 to 500 calories a day. Your brain is a highly active organ, burning around 400 to 500 calories every day, which is about a fifth of your total energy requirements. Most of this energy goes into the automatic functions of controlling muscles and processing sensory input. Interestingly, studies show that solving tricky problems can increase your brain's metabolic activity even more, making it work harder and burn more calories. Fact 42. Most world maps are wrong. The Mercator projection, developed in 1569 for navigation, distorts land masses as you move away from the equator. For example, Greenland appears similar in size to Africa on most maps, but in reality, Africa is 14 times larger. Similarly, Europe looks bigger than South America, even though South America is almost twice its size. Fact 43. Octopuses don't have tentacles. Unlike squids and cuttlefish, which have tentacles, octopuses possess 8 arms. The difference lies in the distribution of suckers. Tentacles have suckers only at their tips, whereas octopus arms have suckers along their entire length, giving them greater dexterity and grip. These arms are incredibly versatile, capable of manipulating objects, exploring their environment, and even tasting, as the suckers contain sensory receptors. This adaptability makes octopuses some of the most intelligent and resourceful creatures in the ocean. Fact 44. Our solar system has a wall. The heliopause, located about 18 billion kilometers, 11 billion miles from the Sun, marks the boundary of the solar system. This invisible wall is where the solar wind, a stream of charged particles from the Sun, collides with interstellar space, creating a bubble-like region known as the heliosphere. Beyond this point, the Sun's influence diminishes, and the environment is dominated by particles and radiation from other stars. NASA's Voyager 1 and 2 spacecraft crossed the heliopause, providing valuable insights into this boundary and the mysterious interstellar medium beyond. Fact 45. Mount Everest isn't the tallest mountain on Earth. Mount Everest holds the title for the tallest mountain above sea level at 8,848.86 meters, 29,031.7 feet. However, Mauna Kea, a dormant volcano in Hawaii, is taller when measured from its base on the ocean floor. Its total height exceeds 10,200 meters, 33,500 feet, though only about 4,200 meters, 13,800 feet, are above sea level. This difference highlights how measurements of tallest vary depending on reference points. While Everest remains iconic for climbers, Mauna Kea is the true giant when considering its submerged portion. Fact 46. The sun makes sound, but we can't hear it. The sun produces sound through pressure waves generated by turbulent movements in its hot plasma. These waves ripple through its interior and behave like sound waves, though they are far too low in frequency for human ears to detect. Scientists use helioseismology to study these waves, analyzing vibrations on the sun's surface to understand its internal structure and dynamics. If we could hear these sounds, they would resemble a deep, low hum. However, in the vacuum of space, sound cannot travel, making the sun's voice silent to us on Earth. Fact 47. The world's oldest known recipe is for beer. The recipe, found on a Sumerian clay tablet dating back to 3900 BCE, describes the brewing process for beer. It includes instructions for fermenting barley and other grains into a frothy beverage. Beer was highly valued in ancient Mesopotamia, often used as payment for laborers, and offered to the gods during religious ceremonies. Today, beer remains one of the most consumed beverages globally, with its origins tracing back to this ancient recipe. Fact 48. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the Earth in their lifetime. The average person takes about 7,500 steps a day. Over a lifetime, assuming 80 years, that adds up to 216 million steps, or roughly 110,000 miles. That's equivalent to walking around the Earth's equator, 24,901 miles, about 5 times. Regular walking is one of the simplest forms of exercise, offering numerous health benefits, including improved cardiovascular health and reduced stress. Fact 49. During your lifetime, you will spend around 79 days brushing your teeth. On average, a person spends around 79 days brushing their teeth over a lifetime. This is based on brushing twice a day for about 2 minutes each time. While it may seem like a lot, good oral hygiene helps prevent cavities, gum disease, and other dental issues, making those 79 days well worth it. Fact 50. The fear of long words is called hippopotamonstrosis quipdaliophobia. Despite its humorous origin, this phobia is real. People with this condition experience anxiety or panic when encountering long, complex words. The term itself was deliberately crafted to highlight the irony, blending hippopotamus, monstrous, and sesquipedalian, a term meaning long words. Fact 51. Wearing a tie can reduce blood flow to your brain by 7.5%. A 2018 study used MRI scans to measure the effects of tight neckties on blood flow. Constricting the jugular vein reduces the amount of oxygen reaching the brain, which can lead to dizziness and impaired cognitive function. This can be especially harmful for people who wear ties for long hours at work. The study prompted some health professionals to advocate for looser dress codes. Fact 52. If you stacked all the bacteria in the world, they'd stretch for 10 billion light years. There are approximately 5 million trillion bacteria on Earth, more than the number of stars in the observable universe. Although invisible to the naked eye, if lined up, their combined length could stretch across the entire universe. Bacteria are found everywhere, from deep-sea vents to inside your body, and they play essential roles in ecosystems and human health. Fact 53. A chicken once lived for 18 months without a head. In 1945, a farmer in Colorado named Lloyd Olson attempted to behead a chicken for dinner. Miraculously, the axe missed the jugular vein and part of the brainstem, allowing the chicken, Mike, to survive. Mike continued to walk around, attempting to peck for food despite missing his head. The farmer fed Mike with a dropper, and the headless chicken gained fame, touring sideshows and appearing in magazines. Eventually, Mike choked to death, but his legacy lives on. Fact 54. Smaller animals experience time more slowly. This phenomenon is called temporal perception. Smaller animals like hummingbirds or houseflies process visual and sensory information at a much faster rate than humans. This makes it seem as though the world is moving in slow motion to them. A fly, for instance, can react to a swatter much quicker because its brain perceives more frames per second than ours. This rapid processing is an evolutionary advantage, helping them escape predators more easily. Fact 55. The average color of the universe is beige. After analyzing the light emitted by over 200,000 galaxies, astronomers calculated the universe's average color. Originally, they thought it was turquoise, but after further review, they settled on beige. They even gave it the whimsical name cosmic latte. This average color is the result of blending the glow from countless stars and galaxies. Over billions of years, as older stars die, the universe's color may gradually shift toward red. Fact 56. The giant stone heads on Easter Island have hidden bodies. The giant stone heads on Easter Island, known as Moai, actually have hidden bodies buried beneath the ground. Archaeologists have discovered that these massive statues extend deep into the earth, with torsos covered in ancient carvings. Over time, soil and sediment buried the lower parts, leading many to believe they were just heads. Fact 57. Your brain eats itself, on purpose. The process, called autophagy, from Greek meaning self-eating, helps the brain remove damaged cells and recycle them into new, healthy cells. This process is essential for memory, learning, and preventing diseases like Alzheimer's. When the brain can't clear out these damaged parts, toxic buildup occurs, leading to mental decline. Sleep is crucial for autophagy. During deep sleep, the brain's cleaning process accelerates, which is why poor sleep can lead to brain fog. Fact 58. Earth's rotation is slowing down. The moon's gravitational pull causes ocean tides, which in turn create friction against Earth's rotation. This friction slightly slows down the planet's spin. Over millions of years, the cumulative effect has lengthened our days. Scientists use atomic clocks and ancient records, like solar eclipses documented by ancient civilizations, to measure the shift in Earth's rotation. In the far future, a day on Earth could last 25 or even 30 hours. Fact 59. Identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. Even though identical twins start with nearly the same genetic blueprint, their fingerprints form uniquely. While in the womb, factors like the density of amniotic fluid, subtle movements, and different parts of the fetus pressing against the womb influence how the ridges on their fingertips develop. This means that although identical twins look the same, their fingerprints are as unique as any two strangers. Forensic scientists use this to differentiate them in criminal cases. Fact 60. Giraffes are 30 times more likely to be struck by lightning than humans. A giraffe's towering height makes it vulnerable during thunderstorms. In open plains or savannas where trees are sparse, giraffes often become the tallest object around, attracting lightning. Giraffes' long legs and necks increase the likelihood of a strike. Although they can sometimes survive, severe burns or internal injuries often prove fatal. Some wildlife reserves monitor weather patterns to ensure giraffes are sheltered during storms. Fact 61. Male cats have longer tails than female cats. Male cats generally have longer tails than female cats. This is because male cats tend to be slightly larger in overall body size, and their tails grow in proportion to their bodies. However, the difference isn't always noticeable and varies by breed and individual genetics. Fact 62. Tears contain a natural painkiller, which reduces pain and improves your mood. Tears contain a natural painkiller called leucine enkephalin, which is a type of endorphin that helps reduce pain and improve mood. This is one of the reasons why crying can be soothing and provide emotional relief, as it not only releases built-up emotions, but also triggers the body's natural way of easing discomfort. Fact 63. Ants leave maps for other ants when they walk. Ants leave behind chemical trails made of pheromones as they walk, creating invisible maps for other ants to follow. These pheromone trails help guide their colony members to food sources, safe paths, and even back to their nest. If an ant finds a good food source, it will reinforce the trail by laying down more pheromones, ensuring others can easily locate it. Fact 64. According to Genesis 1:20-22, the chicken came before the egg. According to Genesis 1:20-22 in the Bible, God created birds on the fifth day, which implies that the chicken came before the egg. The passage describes how God created every winged bird, blessed them, and commanded them to be fruitful and multiply. Based on this interpretation, the fully formed chicken would have been created first, capable of laying eggs to continue its kind. Fact 65. Nutella was invented shortly after World War II ended because chocolate was so expensive. Nutella was invented shortly after World War II because chocolate was scarce and expensive. In 1946, an Italian pastry maker named Pietro Ferrero created a sweet spread using hazelnuts, sugar, and just a little cocoa to make chocolate more affordable. This early version, called Giandujo, was later refined into the creamy Nutella we know today. Fact 66. March 20th is known as Snowman Burning Day. March 20th is known as Snowman Burning Day, a quirky tradition that marks the end of winter and the arrival of spring. Celebrated mainly in the United States, particularly at Lake Superior State University in Michigan, the event involves burning a snowman effigy to symbolize saying goodbye to the cold weather and welcoming warmer days ahead. Fact 67. The most venomous jellyfish in the world is the irukandji. The most venomous jellyfish in the world is the irukandji. This tiny yet deadly jellyfish, found in the waters of Australia, is only about the size of a cubic centimeter, but its sting can cause severe symptoms known as irukandji syndrome. Victims experience excruciating pain, nausea, vomiting, and even heart failure. Despite its small size, the irukandji jellyfish is one of the most dangerous marine creatures on the planet. Fact 68. There is a nut on a helicopter nicknamed the Jesus nut. This is a crucial part of a helicopter's rotor system, specifically the main rotor head, and it's called the Jesus nut because if it were to fail, the helicopter would likely experience catastrophic failure, leading to a crash. The nickname reflects the fact that in such a situation, the only hope for survival would be divine intervention. It's a bit of a dark joke among helicopter pilots and mechanics, underscoring the importance of this small but vital component. Fact 69. The origin of pound cake. Pound cake got its name because the original recipe called for a pound each of butter, sugar, flour, and eggs. This simple yet rich recipe made it easy to remember, and the name stuck. Over time, variations of the pound cake have emerged, but the basic idea remains the same: a dense, buttery cake that was traditionally baked in a loaf shape. Fact 70. Pirates wore earrings because they believed they improved their eyesight. Pirates wore earrings because they believed it would improve their eyesight. This superstition stemmed from the idea that the precious metals in the earrings, like gold, had healing properties. Some pirates even thought that wearing an earring in their left ear could enhance vision and overall health. While there's no scientific evidence to support this belief, it became a defining feature of pirate fashion. Fact 71. Pigs can't look up at the sky. Unlike many other animals, pigs physically cannot tilt their heads upward to see the sky. This is due to the structure of their neck muscles and spine, which limit their range of motion. If a pig wants to see the sky, it would have to lie on its back, something they rarely do on their own. So, while they can enjoy the sunshine, they'll never truly gaze at the stars. Fact 72. The hardest tongue twister in English. The phrase, "the sixth sick sheep's sixth sheep's sick," is widely regarded as one of the toughest tongue twisters in the English language. Even native speakers struggle to say it quickly without stumbling. If you can say it 5 times fast without messing up, you might have a future as a professional tongue twister champion. Fact 73. Sneezing can be dangerous. A particularly powerful sneeze can generate speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour, putting intense pressure on your rib cage. In rare cases, if someone has weak or brittle bones, like with osteoporosis, a violent sneeze could lead to a fractured rib. On the flip side, trying to suppress a sneeze by pinching your nose or keeping your mouth closed can be just as risky. It can cause inner ear damage or even rupture a blood vessel. So next time you feel a sneeze coming, just let it out. Fact 74. Headphones are a bacteria breeding ground. Wearing headphones for just an hour can increase bacteria levels in your ear by 700 times. This happens because headphones trap heat and moisture, creating the perfect environment for bacteria to multiply. If you share your headphones or use them without cleaning, you're also exposing yourself to even more bacteria and ear infections. To stay safe, clean your headphones regularly and give your ears a break. Fact 75. Your tongue has a unique identity. Just like fingerprints, everyone's tongue print is unique. The shape, texture, and pattern of taste buds differ from person to person, making it possible to identify individuals by their tongue print, though it's not commonly used for security, yet. Fact 76. Rubber bands last longer when refrigerated. Storing rubber bands in the refrigerator helps them last longer because the cold slows down the degradation of rubber. Heat and oxygen cause rubber to become brittle and lose its elasticity over time, but cooler temperatures help preserve its flexibility. So, if you want your rubber bands to stay stretchy for longer, pop them in the fridge. Fact 77. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. In the U.S., $1, 100 cents, can be made using pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and half dollars in a whopping 293 different combinations. This was calculated using combinatorial mathematics, which determines the number of ways to add up to 100 cents using different denominations. Fact 78. Your left hand does more typing than your right. If you type using the proper QWERTY keyboard layout, your left hand is responsible for about 56% of keystrokes, while your right hand does the rest. This is because many common letters, E, R, T, A, S, and D, are typed with the left hand. However, if you use the Dvorak keyboard layout, this balance shifts, as it's designed for more even hand usage. And if you're a hunt and peck typist, well, all bets are off. Fact 79. The Sun makes up 99.86% of the solar system's mass. The Sun is the ultimate heavyweight of our solar system, accounting for a staggering 99.86% of its total mass. That means all the planets, moons, asteroids, and comets combined make up just 0.14%. The Sun's immense gravity holds everything together, and its energy powers life on Earth. Without it, our solar system would be an unrecognizable, lifeless place. Truly, the Sun is the ruler of our cosmic neighborhood. Fact 80. Almonds are a member of the peach family. Almonds belong to the same botanical family as peaches, the Rosaceae family. While almonds are typically thought of as nuts, they are actually seeds inside a fruit, much like the pit inside a peach. If you crack open a peach pit, you'll notice it looks surprisingly similar to an almond. Fact 81. Los Angeles has a surprisingly long name. The full original name of Los Angeles was El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Ángeles de Porciúncula, which translates to the town of Our Lady the Queen of Angels of Porciúncula. It was named by Spanish settlers in 1781 after the Virgin Mary and the Porciúncula River in Italy. Fact 82. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Ostriches have huge eyes. Each one is about the size of a billiard ball, 2 inches or 5 centimeters in diameter. Their brain, however, is smaller than their eyes, which explains why they rely more on instinct than intelligence. Because of their massive eyes, ostriches have incredible vision and can spot predators from miles away. Fact 83. Your taste buds have a lifespan of about 10 days. Ever burned your tongue on hot coffee or pizza and found your sense of taste returning after a few days? That's because your taste buds constantly regenerate. Each taste bud has around 50 to 100 sensory cells, and these renew every 10 to 14 days. This rapid turnover ensures your ability to enjoy flavors stays sharp, unless affected by factors like age, smoking, or illness. Fact 84. A silverback gorilla could deadlift 1,800 pounds. Silverback gorillas are absolute powerhouses. Their sheer muscle mass and explosive strength allow them to lift nearly 10 times their body weight, an estimated 1,800 pounds, 815 kilograms, in a deadlift. For comparison, the current human deadlift record is 1,104 pounds, 501 kilograms, set by strongman Hafthor Björnsson. Gorillas don't train, yet they'd outlift even the world's strongest humans. Fact 85. The Apollo missions left 96 bags of poop, pee, and vomit on the moon. Astronauts on the Apollo missions, 1969 to 1972, had to lighten their load, literally. To make room for moon rocks and reduce weight for the return journey, they left behind 96 bags filled with human waste, food wrappers, and other trash. Now, scientists are interested in these bags because they might contain microbes that could have survived decades in the harsh lunar environment. Could there be Earth bacteria still alive on the moon? Future missions may find out. Fact 86. Fish eggs can survive being eaten by a duck. Believe it or not, some fish eggs can pass through a duck's digestive system unharmed and still hatch. Scientists have discovered that eggs of certain fish species, like carp and killifish, can survive the journey through a bird's gut and be deposited into new bodies of water when the bird defecates. This could explain how isolated lakes and ponds end up with fish, even if they've never been connected to other water sources. Nature always finds a way. Fact 87. Starting school at 10 a.m. is better for your health. Research suggests that starting school later in the morning, around 10 a.m., can improve students' health, focus, and academic performance. Studies, including one from the University of Oxford, found that teenagers' natural sleep cycles are different from adults, making early school start times disruptive to their biological rhythms. Fact 88. The Sahara Desert is expanding. The Sahara Desert, covering 9.2 million square kilometers, is expanding southward at a rate of about 30 miles per year. This growth is driven by a combination of natural climate fluctuations and human activities such as overgrazing, deforestation, and unsustainable farming practices. As the desert grows, it encroaches upon the Sahel region, a transitional zone between the desert and the savanna, threatening livelihoods, food security, and biodiversity. Fact 89. The giant squid has the largest eyes in the world. The giant squid, Architeuthis dux, has massive eyes, reaching up to 10 inches, 25 centimeters in diameter, about the size of a dinner plate. These enormous eyes help the squid detect faint light in the deep ocean, where sunlight barely reaches. Even in complete darkness, their eyes can spot the faint bioluminescence of approaching predators. Like sperm whales, their biggest threat. Fact 90. The Leaning Tower of Pisa took nearly 200 years to complete. Construction on the Leaning Tower of Pisa began in 1173 and wasn't finished until 1372, nearly 2 centuries later. The tower began tilting due to unstable ground during early construction, causing builders to pause for almost 100 years. This delay likely saved the structure, as the ground settled before the final floors were added, preventing total collapse. Fact 91. Americans throw away over $700 million worth of aluminum cans every year. Every year, Americans discard more than $700 million worth of aluminum cans, instead of recycling them. Aluminum is one of the most recyclable materials on Earth, and recycling just one can save enough energy to power a TV for 3 hours. Despite this, millions of tons of aluminum end up in landfills annually. If all these cans were recycled, it could significantly reduce energy consumption and environmental impact. Fact 92. The observable universe is 93 billion light-years across. The universe is incomprehensibly vast. What we call the observable universe is a bubble with a diameter of about 93 billion light-years. But here's the thing, the universe itself is expanding, and it's expanding faster than the speed of light. That's why, despite the universe being only around 13.8 billion years old, The furthest objects we can observe are about 46 billion light-years away from us. How is this possible, you may ask? It's because space itself is stretching. The observable universe contains at least 2 trillion galaxies, and each of those galaxies contains millions or even billions of stars. Fact 93. The Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the world's oxygen. Often called the lungs of the Earth, the Amazon rainforest generates roughly 20% of the world's oxygen. Spanning over 5.5 million square kilometers across 9 countries, it plays a crucial role in absorbing carbon dioxide, regulating global climate, and supporting an enormous diversity of wildlife. However, deforestation for agriculture and illegal logging is threatening this vital ecosystem, with over 17% of the rainforest already lost in the past 50 years. Fact 94. Roosters have built-in earplugs to protect themselves from their own crowing. Ever wondered why roosters don't go deaf from their own ear-splitting crowing? Turns out, they have a natural defense: built-in earplugs. Before a rooster crows, its ear canals partially close, reducing the volume of its own sound. Considering a rooster's crow can reach 140 decibels, louder than a jet engine at takeoff, this adaptation helps prevent permanent hearing damage. Fact 95. A year on Venus is shorter than a day on Venus. Venus, often called Earth's sister planet because of its similar size and composition, has some peculiar characteristics. For example, a single day on Venus, meaning the time it takes for the planet to rotate once on its axis, lasts 243 Earth days. Meanwhile, a year on Venus, its orbit around the Sun, takes just 225 Earth days. This means that a day on Venus is actually longer than its year. But that's not the only strange thing about Venus. The planet rotates in the opposite direction to most other planets in our solar system, a phenomenon called retrograde rotation. So, if you were standing on Venus, though you'd be crushed by the atmosphere and scorched by the heat, you'd see the sun rise in the west and set in the east. Fact 96. Japan has the world's oldest population. Japan has the highest percentage of elderly citizens, with over 29% of its population aged 65 or older. This aging population is the result of a combination of high life expectancy and low birth rates. While this trend reflects the success of Japan's healthcare system, it also poses economic challenges, such as a shrinking workforce and increased pressure on social services, leading to innovations in robotics and caregiving. Fact 97. Elephants can swim for up to 6 hours, non-stop. Despite their massive size, elephants are strong and natural swimmers. They can swim for up to 6 hours straight, covering long distances while using their trunks as a built-in snorkel. Elephants are buoyant due to their body composition, and they propel themselves with powerful leg movements, making them excellent swimmers. In fact, they can swim up to 30 miles, 48 kilometers, in a single journey if needed. Fact 98. There's a mountain in Greece where women are forbidden to visit. Mount Athos, a sacred mountain in northern Greece, has banned women from entering for over 1,000 years. The area is home to Orthodox Christian monasteries, and the monks believe that allowing women, or even female animals, would disrupt their way of life and spiritual practice. This ban, known as Avaton, dates back to 1046 AD and is still strictly enforced today. Even female tourists and researchers are not allowed to set foot on the mountain, making it one of the few places in the world where women are completely prohibited. Fact 99. It turns out that most people don't procrastinate because of laziness. Procrastination is often blamed on laziness, but in reality it's more about emotions than motivation. Research suggests that people procrastinate because they are avoiding stress, fear of failure, or perfectionism, rather than simply not wanting to work. Fact 100. Koalas may be cute, but they're incredibly dumb. Koalas might look adorable and cuddly, but when it comes to intelligence, they aren't exactly the sharpest marsupials. Their brains are small and smooth, unlike the more folded brains of smarter animals. In fact, Their brain-to-body ratio is one of the lowest among mammals. Fact 101. The more money couples spend on their weddings, the more likely they are to get divorced. A study from Emory University found that couples who had extravagant weddings, especially those costing over $20,000, were more likely to split up than those who spent less. One big reason is financial stress. Starting a marriage with wedding debt can lead to money problems early on, which is a common cause of divorce. Instead of focusing on an expensive wedding, it might be better to invest in the relationship itself. We just went through 101 mind-blowing facts, and hopefully at least a few of them made you say, "Wait, what?" Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you loved this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more crazy, fun, and fascinating facts.